So why don't we take a look at that? It's not going to be too rage-inducing because we've already been like laughing at Hasan for being the crash out little bitch that he is. So I think this may just be more humorous than enraging, but it will be more informational as well to basically disseminate more information about all this contextually. So we'll take a look at that. Let's do that. We'll take a look at this and let's do it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here. No pun intended, but at this point, I shouldn't be shocked by anything Hasan Piker gets away with live on Twitch. However, I do feel like it's important to log his behaviors to show not only how ridiculous he is, but also how ridiculous people are for still supporting this guy, and also how ridiculous Twitch is as a platform for their selective enforcement of their own terms of service. Now, there's another clip of Hasan going viral right now, and it's causing a lot of controversy because, by any objective interpretation of Twitch's terms of service, he violated those rules. Specifically with the section about hateful conduct, because Hasan really drew in his inner Frogan and decided to tell a veteran in his chat that they deserved PTSD because...
Okay. Well, listen to the clip. Obviously, Ryan's going to show the clip. The difference in this one is I don't think Hasan actually said you deserve PTSD. That would be the difference. Frogan actually did say, I hope you get PTSD. Frogan did say that. Oh, maybe I'm misremembering it, but I thought that he didn't actually say you deserve it. He kind of made fun of the vet. They're like, do you have it? Ha ha ha. I could be misremembering. You know what? I'll wait for the clip. And I'll refresh my memory.
Because they had a different opinion than Hasan. And this was just a small part of a larger rant that is completely unhinged. And don't worry, we'll watch all of it in just a moment. But any clip sharing or any tweet sharing this clip is getting hit with notes like this, clarifying that based on any objective interpretation of the rules, he violated their hateful conduct policy because he is harassing someone based on a protected status. In this case, it is a veteran status. Again, this is something right out of the Hasan Orbiter playbook that Frogan did many years ago. She was banned around that time, but not for wishing PTSD on veterans. She was actually banned for something else that is a common misconception.
And what she was banned for, for anybody that doesn't know why she was banned, when at a TwitchCon, during a panel that she was a part of, along with Denims, you know, the OF girl in the back here. That's not hyperbole, by the way. Denims actually does do OF. She got banned because Frogan, Denims, and a couple other people did a panel at a TwitchCon around that time, in which case they did a racist tier list, where they basically ranked people from either, basically, are they Arab or are they Zionist, effectively speaking. And it was a blatantly racist tier list. Now, one thing that does need to be pointed out, the only reason why Frogan caught, I think it was a 30-day ban for that, the only reason why she caught a ban for that is because the event was sponsored by Chevron, and when they did that panel, Chevron said to Twitch, fuck this shit, we're out. You're going to have a racist tier list for Arab versus Jew? We're out. We're pulling all the money. You will never get a dime from us to sponsor an event ever again. And that was a lot of money. Chevron is a big company. They put a lot of money to Twitch to do TwitchCon. And when they did this, Chevron basically took their money and fucked off. And that is why Frogan caught a 30-day ban for that. Not because of what she said. Not because they had a racist tier list at TwitchCon. No, she got banned because the money dried up. If Chevron had not pulled up the stakes and taken off and basically given Twitch the finger and said, we're never giving you money ever again, if Chevron had not done that, absolutely nothing would have happened. It is only because the money was taken away that Frogan suffered consequences for her actions, which is why I keep saying you want to hurt someone in this space, take away the money. If you want to hurt Twitch and get Twitch to sit up and pay attention and do things like ban streamers that openly and violently advocate for terrorism, you take away the money. Because it's the only thing they're going to listen to. It's the only reason why Frogan got banned at that because of that TwitchCon event. Because Twitch got hit in the wallet. That's it. That is the only reason. It's not because Twitch disagreed with her. It's not because she violated TOS. It's because Chevron took their money and went home. And that's it.
But here's the context, right? So Hasan is about 6 hours into a seethe-filled stream where the subject of a recent attack came up. And in case you're not familiar with one of the many attacks that have happened in the United States recently, this particular one that was up on the screen during this rant involved a man who slammed his car into a Jewish synagogue that was filled with children. Now, this person who...
Incorrect. The synagogue was empty. It was not filled with children. There were no children on site at the time. So that is incorrect on that one. I thought I'd heard something about a small class, but I don't think if that was confirmed. But the synagogue itself, yeah, it was like the area that he hit was like it was like a child like care center. It was like a community child care center, but it was not occupied by any children at the time. So that needs to be, yeah, no kids or staff. Well, it says no kids or staff were injured. There were not kids present. That's the thing. There were no there were, to my knowledge, no kids even present in the building at the time of this attack.
Who did this was not only crazy, but also incredibly incompetent because nobody was seriously harmed other than the suspect who was eliminated before even leaving his car.
He was neutralized.
But Hasan, during his stream, was very worked up. And when one veteran in his chat decided to challenge Hasan, he not only wished PTSD on them, he would go into a full-blown crash out.
15 years.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the text there. Go enjoy your PTSD. Yep. That would be harassment. Yep. The go enjoy your PTSD. I forgot about that line. Yep, that will qualify under harassment.
PTSD on them, he would go into a full-blown crash out.
15 years out from Iraq, eat my balls. Do you even have your balls remaining, or did a IED explode them for you, dumbass? Shut the fuck up talking about Islam. You are an infinitely bigger terrorist than any random Muslim ever could be, dumbass.
And what do you want to bet? When he did this, what do you want to bet? Hundreds, if not thousands of people probably tried to report him for hate speech, and Twitch blocked every single one of them. What do you want to bet? That there were hundreds, if not thousands, of reports on him for hate speech, and Twitch blocked every single one of them. I will guarantee you. So they'll ban a VTuber for hate content, or hate speech, when she never did, refuse to show her any evidence to the contrary, and just say, trust us, bro, you did hate speech, we're banning you. When she didn't, and she catches 7 days, Hasan conducts hate speech against the veteran, and I'm guessing every single report made against him was blocked. I will guarantee it. Twitch and Dan Clancy blocked any reports that could have been made about him.
Shut your bitch ass up. Go enjoy your fucking PTSD, asshole. Fuck you. Imagine having the audacity to fucking be like, yeah, I went to Iraq, And it's actually Islam that's the biggest danger. You're the danger, idiot.
Yeah, no, it is. No, that veteran is 100% correct. He is 100% correct.
You're a danger to your family. And a danger to yourself, douchebag. Law, that's getting clipped, Lamont. I don't give a dude. Shut the up. If you go to Iraq and you learn that lesson, you realize that was wrong, you're welcome here. You come back from Iraq and you can talk about how this was actually awesome and I hate Islam. Then you. You didn't learn anything. You're goddamn.
And again, Hasan making himself the arbiter of who should be in the country. This is Hasan just saying that he thinks he should decide who should be allowed back in the country. By his own words, he does not think veterans that served during GWAT, he doesn't think that they should have been allowed back into the country. He thinks that they probably should have been killed. Who is he talking to? He's talking to a veteran that was in his chat that said, fuck Iraq. He did 15 years during GWAT and fuck Iraq. And so Hasan decided to crash out and say that he doesn't think that, that basically Hasan wants this veteran to die. Let's not fuck with it. Hasan wants this veteran from GWAT to die. He does not think that this veteran should be allowed to live. You can tell he's right on the cusp of actively calling for his death. He's barely holding back. He doesn't know fuck all about Iraq. That's the point. He doesn't know anything. He likes to pretend he does because he's a grifter and he's a scam artist and he's LARPing as a socialist and a communist, but he doesn't actually know anything about it. And he's grifting off of the thousands of people in his chat that throw bits and subs and donos at him. Because he's a piece of shit and should have been nuked off the platform a long time ago. Hasan should have been his account should have been eliminated from Twitch years ago. Because all he does is spew terroristic propaganda. And by allowing him to continue to do so, Twitch is culpable. Twitch is culpable. And they are publicly saying, by allowing him to continue to spew terrorist propaganda, Twitch is saying we also support terrorism. They are broadcasting it by continuing to allow him to broadcast on their platform. They are saying, 100%, we support Hasan, we support terrorism. We are anti-America. I, so badly want to get that transcript of the closed-door meeting between the Oversight Committee and Dan Clancy. I want that fucking transcript so bad right now.
Cattle. You're sending other people like you to be in a similar predicament to yourself.
An absolute classic start to this entire clip because Hasan is resorting to his usual tactics of name-calling and making...
Hang on. Invictus, according to Hasan, you do. As much as I hate it, as much as I hate the fact that you and any, yeah, to all of you serving veterans that serve the country, that you did your duty and served the country and were rewarded with PTSD for doing so, my heart goes out to every single one of you. You guys, all of you veterans, you did what many refused to. You were willing to sacrifice what millions would not by serving, by going overseas, serving in GWAT, doing, unfortunately, what is considered a thankless job. Because so many of the people back in the States derided you for doing your job. You have absolute scum like Hasan that just basically that are telling veterans who were doing their duty, following their orders, because that's what soldiers do, they follow orders, and is basically saying that either you as a veteran should be killed, or that you should have been like you should have disobeyed orders and, spent years in Leavenworth for dereliction of duty. It's disgusting. Like, honestly, I think two things need to happen with Hasan. Number one, he should be deported. That's number one. Denaturalized, deported, literally airdrop him into Iraq. That's what they need to do. They need to, law enforcement needs to go into his home, arrest him, straight to an airport, airlift him to Iran, strap a parachute onto his back, and just drop him over Iran. Like do a static line drop right over Iran and just drop him in there. He loves it so much he can live there. That's one option. Number two, conscript him. Conscript him into the military as a grunt and put him on the front lines with no backup. He's out there by himself, no backup. My personal preference would be option one. That would be my personal option, would be number one. But number two is good too. Conscript him, force him to do the military, put him on the front lines of the conflict. Let him, or better yet, put him with the boots on the ground coming out of Israel. Force him to serve with the Israelis that are currently on the ground, or the Kurdish soldiers on the front lines in Iran. Well, if he tries to desert, we know what happens with that. He has the option. He doesn't have to desert. He can fight. Just saying. Well, that's no soldier would trust him. Not my problem. And ain't my problem. Yeah. This is a guy who is all too comfortable talking shit about veterans while sitting in his $1 million home, while growing up in $1 million homes and going to the finest schools and never having to work for a fucking thing in his life. He's a pussy. He is an absolute pussy. And if he ever experienced any actual conflict, he would fold like a cheap suit in an instant. And if he keeps talking shit about veterans the way he does, let me just say it's a very bad idea to be talking this much shit about veterans. Especially where now, it was bad enough when Frogan was wishing PTSD upon them. Hasan is a much bigger light, I'll say. He is much more visible. And I'm reasonably sure that he does not continually sequester himself in his gated $1 million mansion. Veterans don't take too kindly to you insulting them and wishing PTSD and basically laughing about the fact that they've received PTSD by serving in combat. They don't take too kindly to that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say.
Gross comments where he says all kinds of insults nonstop throughout the clip. I mean, I am very tired of how many times I have to censor this guy because he says stuff that are truly, truly ridiculous for absolutely no reason because he has no counter to anything he is being challenged with. He even goes as far as to say or ask if the veteran had his balls blown up.
Hang on. Hold up. I need to read this because I will not just let that go unread. 3 years of ducking from loud noises, unable to sleep in bed with my wife because of the nightmares, going stir crazy because of silence, sitting with your back to the wall and clear lines of sight, reaching for a non-existent service rifle constantly. It is brutal and lonely. Invictus, I am sorry. I'm sorry you and other veterans have to go through that. I truly hate that you have to go through that. I can only imagine the mental torture that you go through on a daily basis from PTSD like that. I can only imagine it. And that's why I am so enraged about this. I'm forcing myself to keep my voice down so I don't start screaming. That is why I am so enraged about this. Is because Hasan is literally talking out of his ass about something that he could never understand. The level of mental anguish and torture that veterans afflicted with PTSD go through on a daily basis. It is absolutely abhorrent the way he talks about this when he doesn't have a sweet fucking clue. Hasan is an evil monster. He is a disgusting creature that should not be given the platform and the money that he has. And quite frankly, it is disgusting that Twitch has continued to enable him the way they have for years. Because not only is Twitch saying by their abject silence, not only is Twitch saying that they support terrorism, right along with Hasan, but by being silent about this and not doing anything about it, they're also saying that they too hope that veterans have PTSD. By not doing anything, by not taking action against Hasan, Twitch is saying that they also hope that veterans get PTSD. That's not a good look for a company that's not even making money right now. That's not a good look for the parent company of Amazon. Hey, Amazon, what do you think about the fact that Twitch is basically, by their inaction, is endorsing the words of Hasan Piker when he says, I hope you enjoy your PTSD simply because you served in GWAT. Are you good with this, Amazon? Because I don't know how many sponsors are going to be good with that. I don't know how many sponsors of Twitch that pay Twitch money to just barely operate are going to be good with Hasan openly saying that veterans, that being happy about veterans having PTSD.
By an IED, like he's giddy over the idea of a veteran being wounded in that way because he doesn't like them. That's a pretty gross thing to say at the very minimum. But of course, we get to the comments where he wishes harm on this individual, saying, enjoy your PTSD, really channeling his inner Frogan. And if you're not familiar, Frogan is a Hasan orbiter who wished PTSD on American veterans as well.
I have no pity at all for any soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any pity for any soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who. I hope you get PTSD.
It must be really tough times when you are imitating the behaviors of the two-time rising Twitch star, Frogan. Yep. That is how low Hasan is going by wishing PTSD on veterans for simply having an opinion or a stance or really any sort of a discourse that is different than what he wants. And we'll return to that conversation about Hasan and the Twitch TOS.
Well, and like I was saying, it's showcasing just how much he is mentally deteriorating, that he is actually pulling lines from Frogan from 2 years ago, for a year and a half ago. It tells you just how rotted out his brain has become, that he can't even think of a proper insult. He actually has to pick from his failed former moderator to do an insult.
In just a second, but Frogan, I mean, how's that lawsuit going? Really invoking how ridiculous her situation is here by bringing up that comment about PTSD and veterans. She's been stuck at $38,000 out of that $200,000 legal defense fund on GoFundMe for about 6 months. The needle hasn't moved. And I would say at this point, go and settle, get it over with Ethan Klein. But honestly, no, I hope Ethan Klein goes the distance. I hope Frogan sits here very, very foolishly waiting for Hasan to come in and save her, because it's not going to happen.
Ain't gonna do it.
Casey Tron.
Ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it. And I hope Ethan just takes Frogan and Denims for everything. I hope he takes them for everything, and I hope he garnishes their stream wages so that they are paying him for years. Get him, Ethan.
Even though she settled, publicly admitted that Hasan left her out to dry and didn't even reach out to help her privately. So if he's not going to help Casey Tron, he sure as hell is not going to help you. So Frogan is out there all alone, and Ethan Klein is going to collect big. But let's return to the comments made by both Frogan and now Hasan Piker. It's very clear in the hateful conduct chapter of the TOS. Veteran status is a protected status.
Let me see. Twitch does not permit behavior that is motivated by hatred, prejudice, or intolerance, including behavior that promotes or encourages discrimination, denigration, harassment, or violence based on the following. Yeah. You know what? I was talking about it earlier when we were bringing this up earlier. Yeah, this is a violation. Now that I've got the text of the TOS in front of me where I can read it. Yeah. It's a violation of TOS. I think it is, because it promotes or encourages discrimination, denigration. The denigration is a key thing here. Harassment or violence. He talked about, did you get your balls blown off? Yep. Denigration. Did you learn? If you didn't learn when you were in GWAP, then you shouldn't. Then screw you. So denigration. These three right here. Not discrimination, but denigration, harassment, or violence. Violence would be a hard sell. Admittedly, violence would be a hard sell. If you squint, you might be able to call violence on it. But denigration and harassment? Yeah, absolutely. I think that would qualify. The violence, yes. Violence perk would be a hard sell. Absolutely, I agree with that. The harassment, I don't think it would be all that much of a hard sell. I honestly don't think harassment would be all that much of a hard sell, considering how long Hasan went on when he was going after this vet. The amount of time that he basically was verbally attacking this veteran, I think would constitute harassment along with denigration. So these two for sure, yeah. The hateful, the hateful conduct, because don't forget, I will again remind everyone, this exact thing is what Celestium caught a 7-day ban for. This was the reason for her 7-day ban. Hateful conduct. When she didn't do anything. When literally Celestium did nothing that would facilitate hateful conduct. But because she had a hate campaign brigaded against her that used Twitch's own automated reporting system against her, she got banned for 7 days. They would not even listen to her appeal or look at the evidence that she provided. They would provide her zero evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim of hateful conduct. Nope, 7-day ban, fuck your appeal, you're done. Hasan does it? Nothing. And again, I will guarantee every single person that attempted to report him when he did that, when he basically was denigrating and harassing that veteran on stream, I will guarantee every single person that tried to report him was blocked from reporting him. Every single one of them.
On Twitch, you cannot attack someone for their veteran status. You cannot tell them they deserve PTSD or they should enjoy PTSD. This is black and white, ladies and gentlemen. There is absolutely no wiggle room here whatsoever. Any objective reading of this rule would go against Hasan, and he knows it, and he's prepping for it by basically trying to say later on that he knows he should probably get suspended, but he has excuses for that. But this is reflected in almost every one of the tweets sharing this clip, where you can see it's getting hit with notes clarifying a veteran status is a protected characteristic under the Twitch TOS. I think this is very obvious. The only people who are mad about this are...
Honestly, like Jarhead, that might actually do something. If Nick decides he's going to put together a binder on either Hasan or Dan Clancy, that might do something. Because let's face it, if the unsub guys decide that they want to go to war with Twitch, especially since Hasan literally just went up against a veteran, that might do something. Now, are they going to? Are they going to do something? I don't know. If Brandon wins his congressional race, that's basically something else that that's another option that'll be available to the unsub boys, perhaps. Now, granted, I'm sure Brandon is going to, like, if he does win the seat, he's going to avoid doing anything like favoritism wise, because I do trust Brandon to be, to conduct himself properly. If he, I'm sure if Brandon is elected to the seat, he will conduct himself properly in doing so. I have little doubt of. Yeah, he's got a lot more important things to worry about, but I'm not even thinking about from a congressional standpoint. I'm talking about from a lawsuit standpoint. I could see Nick, I could see Eli, I could see Donut, I could see Zach putting something together to file a suit against Twitch. Because again, that is the only way Twitch is going to leer. The only way Twitch is going to change anything about how they do is if you basically take away their money. That literally will be the only thing. And I will betcha that that the boys would be able to come up with enough evidence and facilitate a class action lawsuit against Twitch that would make them go, they might even be able to file it. They might even be able to come up with something that might force Twitch to say, yeah, Hasan, you're off the platform. Because they could, I imagine, because they have both the unsub boys have the resources to facilitate. They absolutely have the resources that they could facilitate a lawsuit against Twitch and make it stick. Are they going to? Realistically, probably not. Maybe Brandon, if he gets elected, could look into revoking Section 230. Again, he's going to have a lot on his plate. Who knows? Honestly, you as the individual need to start contacting your representatives and start demanding that Congress revoke Twitch's 230 status. You guys, everyone in both of my chats, as individuals, if you live in the United States, as individuals, you got to try. Contact representatives and say, listen, and you can make it spicy, especially if your representative is a Republican. You can contact your representative and say, listen, Twitch is supporting terrorism. You can literally point out the number of times Hasan has supported terrorism, has advocated for terrorism. Point out that because Twitch refuses to ever do anything, Twitch is supporting terrorism. And that might get their attention, especially now. It's something. It's something. That's the only thing I can suggest. And Airstaz Luck, thank you for the gifted.
Hasan orbiters and bootlickers who will defend him no matter what. But there's this air of arrogance too, where he's saying that this veteran learned nothing from their time in Iraq, and that this person is a danger to themselves and their family, and infinitely worse than any Muslim or anything like that. I mean, it's really rich hearing about all this level of danger from the guy who literally LARPs as brutal dictators. It's very rich, and I'm glad that you're really telling this guy what he should learn from his own experience in warfare. Unfortunately, Hasan wouldn't understand that because there's no position in the U.S. military for dog zapping, so he's been kind of left out on that one. But again, let's remind ourselves what was being discussed when he got so mad. And
yeah, exactly.
It has to do with the synagogue attack, right? Which, by the way, some people are calling a false flag because of the
for God's
large
sakes.
police response to the events.
Okay, so this person is a fucking retard. This person's an absolute retard because they don't understand reality. There was an attack at a Jewish synagogue. The United States is currently under potential threat by God knows how many Islamic sleeper cells. Yes, any terrorist attack right now is going to get a massive police response because the United States is currently undergoing multiple terrorist attacks. I think in the last couple days alone, there have been, how many now? Off the top of my head count, I want to say there's been between 7 to 10 terrorist attacks within the last, day or two. Yeah, no, not just two. There's been somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think, unconfirmed so far, I think 7 to 10. Not all of them have been confirmed, but they are highly suspected to be. You've got the one guy that had the Allah hoodie that did the shooting. That was in oh god, I can't remember where that was. The guy with the long gun that did the shooting was wearing a hoodie that says "My heart belongs to Allah" or something like that. That was a terror attack. You have the New York one. Yeah, it was that Austin. Yes, thank you. And that was the one in Austin. You have the New York one. There was the same day, or at least the day after, with the New York one. There was another one. There was the ROTC one. Yeah, property below, right. There was the ROTC incident. There was this incident. Yeah, there's been, in the last couple of days, the airplane thing, I think, was just a guy praying for Ramadan. I don't think the airplane thing was that was not an actual attack. It was just basically a guy got into the aisles and started basically praying for Ramadan. And so people naturally, flipped their shit and said that he was a terrorist. But yeah, there's been something like 5 or 7 attacks, at least half of which have been attributed to terrorism in the last couple of days. Oh, he wasn't in the aisle. Okay, he was in a seat. But there have been 5 to 7 attacks in the last couple of days that at minimum half of them have been attributed to Islamic terrorist attacks. So, yeah, if there is a terrorist attack, yeah, you're going to get a big response because right now the U.S. is under threat by Islamic terrorism. It is. If you can't accept this fact, go kindly fuck off back to Iran.
Which, you know what? Calling this a false flag lines up directly with the rhetoric that Hasan shared only 2 weeks ago, where he said, if there's any quote-unquote terrorism that happens on U.S. soil now, you will never be able to convince me nor millions of other Americans that it wasn't Israel and America conducting it together to rally the masses to support an insanely unpopular war.
2 things. Number 1, put him in the box. Number 1, put this man in the box. Number 2, lie. Lie. Flat out lie. There is overwhelming amount of support for the war. Overwhelming support. This is a fucking lie. It is only freak shows and mental deficients like Hasan that consider it unpopular. The vast majority of the U.S. population is highly supportive of it. Yeah, it's only unpopular in his twisted pretzel bent thing that he calls a brain.
So 2 weeks ago, Hasan said any attack on U.S. soil is a false flag operation. And of course, does he believe that the attack at Old Dominion was also a false flag? That happened yesterday as well. Unfortunately, an instructor at the university was killed in the attack, but one hero in the ROTC ended up offing the attacker with his own hands and knife that he had on him. That was a even bigger disaster avoided. Also, is this another false flag? Where 3 days ago, this individual went to an elementary school with tactical gear and weapons, but was stopped by security before anything bad could have happened.
What
According
the hell?
to Hasan, all of these attacks are just false flags. The very progressive guy is...
I'm sorry. At this point, he needs to be in a box. At this point, between saying every single terrorist attack is just a false flag operation, that's giving aid and comfort to the terrorists. That's literally using Hasan is literally using his platform to brainwash God knows how many people to make them think, no, this is just a false flag. There's no actual terrorist attack, and thus aiding the terrorists to be able to continue to conduct attacks because Hasan is convincing people, oh no, there's nothing happening. That is literally giving aid to terrorism. That is what's known as treason. Okay? And this is before even going into him basically instructing his chat on how to easily obtain drones to use as weapons. Which again, I will point out, very interesting the timing that one day Hasan is talking about using drones as weapons and how easy it is to obtain them. And the next day, wow, all of a sudden Iran starts saying, we're going to use drones as weapons. So the US has to go on high alert. Very interesting coincidence there. Wouldn't you agree?
Turn into a conspiracy theorist. In fact, he said, come on, man, when quoting a different attack from 2 weeks ago after he made his initial post where a guy was attempting a mass casualty events wearing a Property of Allah shirt. That's why he believed this was another false flag. Oh, a shirt that, by the way, he owns himself and has taken multiple pictures with online. And what happened when people pointed out that he was upset about this attack being stopped? He called them cattle. Oh, but you've heard that before because he called the veteran cattle as well, which, by the way, would also probably violate Twitch's terms of service on hateful conduct as well, calling a protected characteristic, a person under that, cattle, which seems to be Hasan's new obsession. Because if you search cattle, this is all from the last 2 weeks. MAGA cattle. Down here again, saying MAGA is cattle. MAGA cattle. More down here, let's see.
What? Okay. Beyond him saying, I want to point something out. Notice how he's doing his tweets. Notice how he's doing 2 of these tweets. All caps, the angry face, and then, of course, promoting his channel. He's desperate. This is attention seeking. No, this is not a bot. This is Hasan. This is attention seeking. He is desperate to get people to come into his channel. I need to check something. I want to check something. I forgot to check this before. Give me a second. I want to look at something. Come on, bring up the chart. Holy God. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you know what? You know why he's doing this? You know why he's doing? You know why he's going so hard on this? He's desperate to keep people because his viewership was down back in September. Or sorry, December. His viewership was down substantially between September and December. He lost like 20,000 viewers. Between September and December, he lost 20 up. Let me bring the chart up. Let me bring the chart up and I'll show you. This is why he's desperate right now. This was September. He had 41,000, like 41.5 thousand viewers. And literally 3 months later, he'd lost half that. His viewership was cut in half. Interesting, around this time is when he started going really freaking hard about it, about like, you know, this is kind of when he started losing his mind. His rhetoric started amping up. He started becoming more extreme in his rhetoric. And now it's going back up again. He's desperate to maintain this. He's desperate to maintain this viewership of back where it used to be. And his methodology of doing that is to basically go schizo. Again, it is an act of desperation. It is 100% an act of desperation for legitimacy. And thank you for the subby, Autistic.
MAGA loves this war because they're cattle. MAGA's effing cattle. Straight up cattle. Cattle. That's all in 2 weeks. It's all in 2 weeks. It's like he found a new buzzword. But of course,
he did find a new
buzzword.
Not
done. The clip is.
He did find a new buzzword. And guess what? He didn't come up with himself. He probably stole that from his chat because Hasan can actually think up anything original himself these days. He's constantly looking for chat. He's, ironically enough, he's audience captured in the worst way possible because now he's receiving literally all of his talking points from his chat. Who's the cattle when he can't even elicit his own talking points? He can't even elicit his own insults. He has to get all of that from his chat. We saw that in the full clip earlier. He literally could not come up with any insult without looking at his chat, scrolling back and forth through his chat, looking for an insult to use because he is so retarded and so mentally degraded that he's not even capable of thinking up insults or commentary or talking points himself anymore. He needs his chat to be able to talk about anything. He's literally steals their talking points and their insults and uses them as his own.
Is not done. And of course, you probably guessed at this point, it would somehow circle back to who else but Asmongold.
Whatever, bitch. I'll start live streaming on YouTube tomorrow. Suck my dick. No, you're getting clipped.
Right on.
By who? The people that have been literally begging for American sons and daughters to go and fucking die in Iran for the last 2 weeks? By people who keep going, yeah, based. No, we got to give more money to Israel.
These are not the words of a mentally well person. He's broken. And yeah, probably Asmongold broken. These are the words of a broken individual. He is so audience captured and is so desperate to stay relevant, he's just vomiting nonsense. Like you are hearing the words of someone like, don't forget, it wasn't all that long ago that he was screaming into the microphone that he hates the left, that he hates communism, that he hates streaming, that he hates his life. He's broken. 100% broken.
Those people who are going to fucking turn around and then now act as though they give a shit about veterans, the same people like Asmongold who fucking celebrated when that Navy SEAL with his uniform had his arm broken, Really?
Again, that was a
what
Marine.
we're doing? If Twitch can apply this fucking double standard when one veteran is getting their fucking arm broken by an American congressperson for opposing America waging Israel,
Wait, hang on.
broken by an American congressperson for
It wasn't a congressperson that broke that Marine's arm. It was a former Navy SEAL who was, I believe, part of the security detail. Was it an actual congressperson? I thought it was security that did it. It was former. Oh, it was a former. Okay, my bad. I'm mistake. I'm wrong. Okay, so base fucking congressman, base former SEAL congressman. Yeah. And again, Hasan deliberately obfuscating the context in that a Marine in full dress uniform created a massive scene in Congress and got taken down because of it. Again, completely obfuscating that context. He literally, he actually like violated UCMJ, showed up to Congress in uniform and created a big disturbance. And yeah, he got taken down for it. Fuck around and find out. I don't feel any joy. I feel no joy in this Marine having his arm broken, but I'm sorry. You act like a piece of shit, you're gonna get treated like a piece of shit. It's that basic. And by the way, Asmon didn't laugh at that. Hasan, once again, lying. I know. Nobody's shocked by this except Kaya.
opposing America waging Israel's wars. When Twitch doesn't fucking ban Asmongold for laughing at that and saying, yeah, based, and that he deserved it, when Twitch literally doesn't say a single damn thing about that, but then turns around and tries to ban me for this shit, fuck this platform. I will never fucking come back here.
His Asmongold derangement syndrome has reached critical levels, ladies and gentlemen. Seeing all these...
Oh, and by the way, that was a lot. What he just said, I will leave this platform and never come back. Yeah, I will. If he was to catch a ban, he would beg Dan Clancy to come back. Because he won't let... Kick won't let him on the platform. Kick 100% will not let him on the platform. He won't do YouTube because he tried YouTube, failed abysmally. YouTube won't do a fucking thing for him. He will beg Dan Clancy to come back if he gets banned. He'll get on his hands and knees and we'll get a role reversal. We will get 100% a role reversal, and instead of Dan going after Hasan's inverted micropenis, Hasan will go after Dan's inverted micropenis. We'll get the flip-flop of the lifetime there. And no, YouTube did not ban him. He just fell off hard on YouTube. The first day he went on YouTube, when he got, about a month ago? When he went on YouTube, the first day he streamed, he did well. Every day afterwards, he fell off hard. To the point that he said, I'm not doing YouTube because I'm basically I'm not making money from it. So he's not doing YouTube.
Events going on, the first thing that pops up in his mind is, of course, Asmongold. Now, he says that, you know, the people who are going to be mad about his clip are people who supposedly care about veterans like Asmongold, and he relates it to comments Asmongold made about this situation, where he claims that Asmongold celebrated when a Navy SEAL had his arm broken. Now, of course, the person who had their arm broken was not a Navy SEAL. In fact, one of the members of the Senate that subdued this protester was a Navy SEAL. The person who did it was a retired Marine wearing his uniform and was being disruptive at this hearing, the Senate hearing. And whether you agree with the tactics or not that this guy did, eventually he was forcibly removed and his arm got caught in a door and it was broken.
Thank you, Praetor.
And Asmongold, basically in his commentary, said based. He didn't care because he believed this guy was going about it wrong and wanted attention and wanted to cause a scene. And according to Asmongold, he basically got what he asked for. Now, Asmongold got a lot of pushback in his related video talking about this.
Hi, Valpside Gaming. Hi, Raiders. Welcome in. Welcome in. Brace yourself. We're talking about Hasan being a piece of shit. I know, you're shocked.
Everyone agreed with it, but here's the thing that's very clear. No matter what you believe about Asmongold's comments, his comments weren't celebrating someone being harmed because they're a veteran. He disagreed with the way this guy went about it. okay, in
Yes.
his uniform. And with Hasan, Hasan is celebrating that this guy has PTSD or might have PTSD simply because he's a veteran. He's celebrating that in itself. It's not like
Correct.
he's focusing on the actions of this person. No, he's focusing on the veteran status and saying, enjoy your PTSD. There is a very big difference here. And of course, there's a perfect tweet for this, saying this is a perfect distillation of how leftists argue. Number one, find two things that are different in nearly every possible way. Number two, find one superficial similarity between them. This proves they are actually identical. Number three, why are you against one but not the other? That is a sort of tactic here, saying if you're mad at what I'm doing, you also have to be mad at Asmongold. And if I get banned for this, then Asmongold should have been banned as well. And if I get banned over this, I'm leaving and going to YouTube. Well, that's an interesting claim by Hasan
there we
that
go.
he'll leave Twitch forever and not come back and F this platform, referring to Twitch, and he'll go to YouTube instead. Well, he tried that already and immediately left because the numbers weren't good enough.
Bingo!
I genuinely think dual streaming was a mistake. Good audience gets you boosted less on both sides. I agree. Yes, chatter, you are not wrong.
Back to Twitch.
It's been a somewhat of a failure. To be fair though, this is a IRL stream, and it's Saturday, so that's like also the other reason why the numbers are dog shit. Like, let's be real. I mean, our Zoran stream wasn't like that. The Zoran stream was like 20K as well.
Absolutely incredible stuff from his.
It's been somewhat of a failure. You know what else? Is if he went over to YouTube fully and tried to stream the same content he streams on Twitch, YouTube won't block people for reporting him for hate content. That's why he won't go to YouTube. If he actually, that's why, and I think that may actually be one of the reasons why he's not multi-streaming either. Because YouTube will not stop people from reporting TOS violations of his content. And YouTube's AI will nuke his channel in a heartbeat. Absolutely. See, he knows he doesn't have the protection on YouTube that he has on Twitch. That's why he won't go to YouTube. Because he knows what he says on Twitch will not be allowed on YouTube, especially in their streaming, because their TOS when it comes to streaming is even more restrictive than their TOS when it comes to posting videos. So if he was to go full-time on YouTube, his channel would be gone within a couple days. Hands down. And he knows that. He absolutely knows that. My guess is the one stream that he did on YouTube was probably extremely milquetoast because he knew he had to tone himself down, and that's why his numbers fell off. That's why he got no views, because he knew he had to tone down what he was putting out on stream on YouTube, and thus people were expecting the incredibly insane takes, the, terrorist propagandizing genocidal takes that he has, where he thinks that America should be destroyed and that America should become a Muslim state and that veterans should be killed simply for being veterans. Yeah, if he did that on YouTube, he'd be nuked in a heartbeat. He would have 20,000 reports against him instantaneously, and his entire channel would be taken down. And he knows that. He 100% knows that. And that's why when he was on YouTube, it was probably very mild, thus didn't get him the views that he wanted, and why he left it and went back to go full-time on Twitch when his ban was up. Because don't forget, he went on YouTube because it caught like a 2-day ban from Twitch for, I forget what it was for this, what the ban was for, but it was like a 2-day ban or something. And so during those 2 days, he actually went on YouTube and failed, abjectly failed.
There is literally no self-awareness whatsoever. He is trying to threaten Twitch. He's not just going on there and once again running a complete mockery of their terms of service. He's doing it while taunting Twitch, taunting them into banning him.
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to protect himself, ladies and gentlemen. He's nervous. You can tell during the clip,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
right.
he
7 cut down to
realized
2.
that, man, I said something that definitely could get me banned, so I should get ahead of this right now. And he immediately starts bringing up Asmongold and saying, well, if you take me out, you're hypocrites because you didn't take him out for his comments about the Senate hearing, which, of course, again, as we said, are a very superficial set of comparisons. But yeah, that is his whole goal. He's trying to get on top of this to protect himself. But of course, the clip is not over. There's actually more to it, where Hasan starts finger wagging at his own audience as well as the veteran in his chat.
Y'all are a bunch of dumb too for being like, oh, you're gonna get clipped.
See, notice his chat. This is what I was talking about earlier. His chat will go, and then he'll stop and back up because this window, this chat arena window, he can control with his mouse. So he can control the scroll on his chat arena window. That's why you see it flying up when chatters are saying something, and then all of a sudden it stops, and you see him back up all the time. Why? Because he's looking for a based take in his mind that his chat is saying that he can then steal and claim that it's his take. That's why he does it, because he's too brain rotted, he's too mentally deteriorated, he's too infantilized to be able to come up with takes on his own anymore. He can't actually say anything anymore because he's a retard. And so he's desperately searching his chat for phrases or takes or facts that he can then try and pluck from the chat, put into his own mouth, vomit out, and pretend like I'm so smart. Look at what I just said. He's done.
Dumb motherfucker doesn't even realize his own lived experiences should have taught him a very valuable lesson.
Oh, look at that, guys. Hasan is angry at his own audience again. I literally cannot believe it. It is so funny that he would get...
This is my face of shock and amazement at this fact. Look at how shocked I am. Can you not tell how shocked I truly am about this? Truly, this is a monumental acknowledgement of how shocked I truly am. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So upset about someone clipping this or even saying someone else is going to clip this. Of course, people are going to when one of the biggest people on the platform is openly wishing and celebrating PTSD on veterans because he doesn't like what they're saying. Yes, of course, people are going to clip that, and he just hates his own community. It is the beast he has created. We just played this, what was it, yesterday? I'm going to play it again because this clip is literally hilarious. This is the prison that Hasan has created for himself with his community, and he deserves to feel bad about it.
I can't stand any of you dumb fucks in this chat. Oh my God, I hate the left. I hate liberalism. I hate everything that's going on. Every single
yes.
I hate my life.
Oh, give it to me.
I hate socialism. I hate
give it to me, baby.
Who thinks that the peak of activism is just being the most annoying,
give me your desperation. Yes.
Woke leftist is just
give it to me, baby.
You did it. You have unlocked
the beautiful, delicious
me, okay?
desperation.
Nothing will ever get better.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Keep it going. Oh, don't stop now. I'm so close. Don't stop now, Hasan. I'm so close. And I will point out, like I pointed out before, that was the mild version of that. I regret nothing. That was also the mild version of that. He said basically the same thing, and he was screaming it. He wasn't talking as calm, as quote unquote calmly as he was here. He was screaming it. Yeah, he has a full crash out. I think after this moment, he has a full crash out where he says all of that, but he's literally screaming it into his microphone. It was glorious.
You know what? Give me a shot of that every single morning when I wake up,
Oh,
and I'll be
yes.
feeling great. But you can see, too, there is more
Good night,
virtue
Leo.
signaling directed towards the veteran in his chat. Basically saying, based on your own lived experience, that should have taught you a lesson. Anyone who says lived experience unironically is insufferable. And he's saying because you
I think Hasan's actually realized how shit his takes have been. I disagree. I don't think he realized. I think he always knows how shit his takes are. I think he's starting to realize that people aren't buying it. I think he's starting to realize he doesn't have anywhere close to the support for his shit takes that he used to have, and that he's falling off, and that the majority of people showing up in his chat right now are there specifically to dumpster all over him. At minimum, on any given day, Hasan's chat is filled with at least half of his chatters every day are people that are there specifically just to laugh at him and shit all over him. At least half of his chat, his own chat, hates him, makes fun of him, shoves his head into a toilet on a daily basis. And he knows it. Yeah, and low-cow watchers, absolutely. They're there to check out the crash outs and clip the crash outs. Absolutely. And he knows it. That's the funniest part. He knows it. He knows that he's fallen off. He knows that half of his chat is just there to make fun of him and laugh at him and clip him and spread it all over the internet. And he's crashing out over it. He's probably drinking a lot more. It would not surprise me if he's drunk on his streams more than half the time these days. He knows that politically speaking, everyone is distancing from him. He has no support in the political community. Everyone in the political community has backed off and said, we want nothing to do with you. So he can only satisfy it. He only gets satisfaction by going with tiny little streamers that probably no one knows about that will just bobblehead doll along with him. But it's not good enough for him because nobody gives a shit about those streamers that go onto his show. And the people that he does try to get onto a show that could give him any amount of legitimacy are backing off and saying, nope, I want nothing to do with you. But Mondani, he publicly denounced Hasan in a debate, and then when he won, Hasan literally got the "you're not on the guest list" treatment for his communist hero. Nobody of influence and power wants to be a part of him. And people want, where alternatively, people would love to collab with Asmongold. People would absolutely love to collab with Asmongold, not Hasan, but Asmongold doesn't like doing collabs. He refuses to do collabs. Now, he is considering reaching out to Kiriko, the CIA whistleblower. He is considering reaching out to him to have him on his stream. Just to basically make Hasan scream, rage, and seethe. That would be fucking amazing if he does, because Hasan would absolutely just lose his fucking mind. And I would love to see that.
Went through what you did overseas, you should have felt a certain way. And because you don't, well, I can tell you to enjoy your PTSD without any sort of backlash against me, because I'm right, you're wrong. There was a way you should have came out the other end of your service overseas, because Hasan is obviously such an expert of what's going on the ground overseas throughout these wars, because, you know, he is the most knowledgeable person, of course, when it comes to the experience of the average person in the military. But yeah, this whole thing is just a gigantic mess. Hasan making an absolute fool out of himself. And honestly, Twitch, if you don't do anything about this, you're showing just how spineless you are. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about
we know
Hasan.
they are.
Just wanted to say real quick, without putting this at the front of the video and feeling a little little weird about it. I didn't want to like shove it in your face, but for those who are interested, I just made another Patreon exclusive upload talking about the grifting epidemic in the VTubing scene, or at least what people are claiming is a real problem in the VTubing scene, where basically anyone who shares an opinion that is unfavorable in that scene is viewed immediately as a grifter. That's what's been used against me for years and years, and I wanted to have an informal conversation about it exclusively on Patreon, among other exclusive uploads there that you can check out. I'll put a link to this in the pinned comment if you guys want to support that video and my Patreon. That is greatly appreciated. But for now, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. I don't expect if Twitch actually does do something about this, and I'm not expecting them to do anything about it, not by any stretch of the imagination, I will be as shocked as Kaya if Twitch actually does do something about Hasan with this latest thing. But considering they didn't do anything to him when he was coaching terrorists on how to purchase and how to obtain drones to use for terrorist strikes, I legit don't think they're going to do anything about this. Because, let's face it, Twitch doesn't care about veterans. They do not care one iota about veterans, so why should they care about Hasan insulting a veteran?